For some reason, I've been watching the existential crisis of androids for a few weeks, and it seems to me that all these movies and games boil down to a similar question. What does it mean for a collection of bolts and wires to have sentience like humans do? And most movies approach androids from the angle of the other, someone outcasted from society due to an inherent difference. Whether it be race, class, sexual orientation, or gender, they all evoke these differences in reality to characterize androids as being different. Which sounds good, right? Well, not all the time. In fact, I think these stories can be harmful and dismissive, and the key lies in the android sense of self, but let's get into it. This whole trend of androids began with the deservingly disliked Detroit Become Human. I remember I played the game and thought, wow, that was bad. Then I went online and did some research and discovered, wow, that was really bad, for several reasons that would make this video too long, but basically the androids in Detroit Become Human are shown through a distinct racial lens, and now there are plenty of good videos describing this game's horrible appropriation that I will link in the description, but for this video's purpose, the problem I'm analyzing lies within the very title itself, Become Human. Throughout the 10 to 15 hour narrative, the game seems to evoke that same title with lines like, "We are alive." And the game ultimately says that the androids should be treated as humans because they are no different from humans and are exactly the same. Which is bad. One that misses the whole point of being outcast because you're different, because it fails to accept the very difference that caused the divide between androids and humans. What the story seems to imply is that because the androids have become human, they have earned to be treated as such. Not that they are inherently the same and inherently deserve to be treated equally. Do you see the problem? The humans in the story accept the androids because they're the same. They don't accept their difference, which is a huge problem in your story where the very conflict is the lack of understanding of that difference. Which, whether it be class, race, sexual orientation, cats or dogs, or whatever, the whole challenge is accepting that the other group is different and being okay with that. Which is nowhere in this game because it's missing the whole point of being different and being constructed of nuts and bolts. Now, thankfully, this game wasn't the only media I consumed about androids, or else I'd probably back out of stuff like this in the future. I also played Nier Automata and watched Blade Runner 2049. Once again, both stories about androids or replicants questioning their own existence and desiring better treatment than they were given. Let's start with Nier Automata. Just looking at 2B and 9S, our two heroes, with their matching black garb and headbands over their eyes, the audience immediately gets some strange vibes from them. Their design, while not openly showing machine parts, at least clues us into their artificial nature, which is already a step in the right direction. Being noticeably different is a very key indicator in these types of stories. And the writing itself, while maybe a bit pointed at times, still does justice in understanding that these androids and robots are different, but still maintain the same capacity for sentience as humans. And avoiding any big spoilers for anyone interested, Nier Automata shows a divide between the androids and the humans, with them constantly being forced to act with their programming, despite how they emotionally feel about their actions. And it's that exact struggle that makes the usage of androids in this story so unique, because the ones and zeros that compose them also prevent them from acting on their emotions, no matter how bad they may want to. And us recognizing that struggle as something not our own and something unique to them is what makes it so engaging and unique. We, as the audience and humans, feel sorrow and respect their struggle in accepting their sentience, despite our lack of a relation to them. It's good, it's great, and it showcases a better narrative about accepting difference and self-realization. And I think a perfect display of this exact scenario exists in Blade Runner 2049, with the scene with no spoilers, I promise. After Kay, an android or replicant, comes home from his job, he spends an evening with his lover, Joy. I feel like I could do a whole breakdown of this scene, but essentially this scene shows Kay's life as a replicant, as someone who isn't a real human, with artificial food, an artificial wife, and an artificial body. But all of it feels real. Kay moving his feet for Joy, Kay asking her if she wants a drink, Joy asking him about his day. Even from a technical aspect, Gosling and Arma's acting with genuine sincerity, the camera maintaining a shot on both of them together, even the lighting in the scene adds a glow of warmth to each of the actors that contrasts with the dark palette of the rest of the film. It's all intentional because it's showing that just because these beings are not made of flesh and blood, that doesn't take away any meaning from their sense of self. If anything, all these artificial attachments that K has are what characterizes him and causes him to think he might be human, which has the same impact on us as the audience, making us reevaluate what it truly means to acknowledge and accept something besides the familiar. And that's where I think the key is, getting the audience to understand the struggle of someone or something different from them, and acknowledging that acceptance is hard, and it's not just about saying that we are no different from each other, it's saying we are different, we will continue to be different, and that difference is what makes us great. But anyway, that's all I have to say. If you have any recommendations for existentialist robots, leave them down in the comments and I'll probably give some of them a watch now. Until then, please leave a like or a comment or subscribe, or do all of the above, and I'll see you next time.